The thoughts, views, and comments expressed by Rodney Munker, his guests, and callers on Freedom March are not necessarily those of the management, ownership, or production unit of the Verizon Media Group. Freedom March is a production of ILTV and cannot be reproduced or represented in part or entirety without express written consent of the Verizon Media Group. Freedom March is the intellectual property of the Verizon Media Group. Copyright 2020. All rights are reserved. Freedom March is powered by BTC.
This morning, a Negro grandmother, her 2-year-old Negro grandson, and 2 other Negro women were driving through Lily of the Valley corner when it is alleged a number of gunmen, all of whom have been described as Negro gunmen, opened fire on her car. And when that began, she picked up speed and she raced towards Quaco Street at the corner of Quaco and Market Street for police assistance. Well, that grandmother is dead, and her 2-year-old grandson, he suffered major injuries, and we are advised that he is currently in surgery. So this is the big news for the day. The woman is said to be named Renee Gray. And if you have been checking the records, you will note that most of the people who either have been committing the murders or have been victims of the murders, their last name ends in Gray. That is not to say that they are all related or that the many crimes are linked. It's just interesting that Grays are being killed or Grays are killing. So this is a major development taking place here today. And of course, last night in Montel Heights, a Negro young man, he was murdered. So I think this is the 11th day in the first month of the 24th year. And we are being told that it's about 11 murders in 11 days. So broadcasting live from the ILTV studios located here at University Drive, welcome to Freedom March. My name is Rodney Munker. My spiritual advisor is Bradley Rule. Bradley is here. Bradley, welcome to Freedom March.
Thank you so much. Good to be here.
And to the best of my knowledge, today, the minister responsible for national security, he has not announced that he will not be showing up. So we do expect Minister Wayne Monroe. If he doesn't show up, well, there's so much crime taking place, he might be, be distracted. So these are some of the things that are happening in our country. So the question is, what are you, the citizens, going to do? I'm 67. I have nothing to prove. It is you, young people, who are standing up, complaining, and will not take political action. If you want the government to hang, well, the parliament is meeting shortly. Shouldn't you go there with all your families and friends? Thousands of you should go to Bay Street and welcome your parliament and call for action. That is the way I did it when I was a youth. So you have to march, okay? Let's have some marches, let's have some demonstration. Today I've been talking with a young PLP activist, trying to see if I can inspire him to go to Bay Street. So this is what needs to happen, all right? It's just too much killing, and something has to be done about it. So Grandma Renee Gray, she's dead, and her 2-year-old grandson, a few moments ago, they told me that he was still in theater. So this is what is taking place. Anyway, that's a photograph of the woman who it is alleged is Renee Gray. And I'm certain that you would have seen the Sudden police station where she sought refuge, okay? Well, where the driver of the vehicle sought refuge, and the police had to spring into serious action to provide, to provide them with medical assistance until such time as the ambulance arrived on the scene. So today is the 11th of January 2024. So it's one day after we, the Negro people, celebrated majority rule. Okay, isn't it powerful that we, the black majority, we cannot maintain law and order? I don't know if it's something I ought to be proud of, but I'll shout it from the mountaintop. Say it loud. I'm black and I'm proud, but I cannot maintain law and order. This has been a match. God save the King. God save the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. Your Majesty, it's time to hang. I'll be right back after the break. Welcome back to Freedom March. My name is Rodney Monker. And of course, I'm going to invite my spiritual advisor, Bradley Roll, to lead us spiritually, taking into consideration that there are so many spiritual issues. My spiritual advisor must confront many of the false teaching that are exhibited in the Christian community. And there are times when he's so overwhelmed by these teaching that it becomes extremely difficult for him to put on the full armor of the Lord. But today, I want him to focus on the fact that yesterday, the Commonwealth of the Bahamas celebrated majority rule. And we have heard pastors who ought to have been teaching the gospel, but instead they spout hatred, racism, classism. So I want to say to him, my spiritual advisor, have you been following Pastor?
Yeah, I've been following some of the stories that took place over the last few days. I thought it would have been controversial, but it is reality that the preacher decided during the majority rule service to address the illegal migration. No doubt, illegal migration has always been an issue that's been plaguing us. But I can remember living in Camp Road in the 70s. I can remember immigration running after Haitians, to chase them down to, Kimbe tout moun, parce que tout moun pa gen papier, and I understand, the reason for that. So, Sandra, I understand that, we can get emotional at times, and there are times when we tend to castigate or, criticize preachers because they address certain political issues or issues that's going on in the country. That's a subject he decided to address at that service. What he really should have done, though, is he should have really preached the gospel of Jesus Christ during that majority rule service, because I am certain that there were a lot of people in that setting that they don't know Jesus. They're not Christians.
My spiritual advisor, you touch a very, very important issue there.
What he should have done is preach the gospel of Jesus Christ.
That he was not preaching the gospel?
If he's preaching about illegal migration, that is not the gospel.
It's not the gospel.
No, the gospel is about the death, the burial, and the resurrection of Jesus Christ.
Hallelujah, hallelujah. So certainly then he was misleading the congregation.
No, I wouldn't say that. What I'm telling you is...
But if you're not my spiritual advisor, let's make up our mind. If you are commanded to spread the gospel, to
in
preach
season,
the gospel,
preach the word in season and out of season, for the time will come.
Then certainly, if yesterday he did not gossip the gospel, then he lost a wonderful opportunity.
Absolutely. Now, if you put it like that,
yes,
I would agree with you.
Help me to keep putting it like that.
Certainly then, my spiritual advisor,
if he's not preaching the gospel, can I then not argue that he's not saved?
Now, let me be honest with you. That part of his sermon was highlighted. Now, it doesn't mean that he did not mention about Jesus Christ and his blood-saving power. I couldn't say it because I didn't listen to the whole sermon.
Right.
It was just an
but
excerpt
those
from the
of us
sermon.
who
So be fair to him now, Senator. I recognize how emotional this must be for you now.
My spiritual
but
advisor.
I need you to cut things straight, okay?
I'm cutting things straight. There is no evidence.
Don't say that.
My spiritual
We
advisor.
only have an excerpt from a sermon that he may have been an hour preaching.
Have that. But those of us who listen to the entire broadcast, we are in a position to say what he said. And I'm suggesting to you that he did not preach the gospel.
Okay.
And if he did not preach the gospel, certainly my spiritual
He missed
advisor.
an opportunity. He missed a grand opportunity at a grand stage that he preaches from every Sunday morning to preach the gospel to hundreds of people who probably may not have heard, and of course there were hundreds there who did not obey the gospel. He had an opportunity and he has the mandate to make sure that when he preaches Christ and him crucified. Because, you know, all preachers must recognize that for those who are not Christians, that they're lost. And their job is to bring the lost to Christ. And you do that through the spoken word. That's the power you have. Romans 1 and verse number 16, the Apostle Paul says, I am not ashamed of the gospel of Jesus Christ, for it is the power of God unto salvation to all those who believe, to the Jew first, and also to the Greek, for therein is the righteousness of God revealed from faith to faith. As it is written, the just shall live by faith. So anytime you, in a setting where you have hundreds of people who are not Christians, man, God has placed you in a position to preach his word. Because remember now, this whole thing with Christianity and preaching the gospel is that we're in the soul-saving business. We're trying to bring the lost to Christ. But he decided he was going to highlight an issue that you and I know it's hurting this country. Make no mistake about it.
Yeah, but
the illegal immigration is killing us, Sandra.
My spiritual
We're losing our
advisor,
identity, Sandra.
My spiritual advisor.
The foreigners are taking our country, Sandra. We're soon going to lose our identity, Sandra.
My spiritual advisor.
Utande, sir?
My spiritual advisor. My spiritual advisor. I want you to focus on the word of God. Certainly, this was an opportunity not only for him to spread the gospel, but in the midst of it, those whom he claimed are among us unlawfully, they too may have found Christ.
Yes, sir. I agree.
Certainly, Satan conquered
No, don't do that.
him.
Don't do that, Sandra.
Well, if we don't say it, my spiritual advisor, I mean, it's hard to say it, but certainly he carried out the works of the devil.
That's what Sandra say. All I'm telling you, and I can be fair to this preacher, I did not hear his entire sermon.
We know that you did not hear it.
So I can't
but
say
you
that he didn't mention Jesus
the kind
Christ.
of theologian that you are.
But Sandra, I can't see this preacher being in a setting like that for a whole hour, not mentioning Christ. That's impossible, because you're in that setting.
Right.
All right? So, okay, so let's get to this passage, and then we could always... I figured that was going to get your attention. When I look at the Nassau guy and say, oh boy, here we go.
Well, I
can imagine what the show is going to be like today.
The grace of Jesus.
Absolutely, Sandra.
I couldn't find Jesus in it.
You couldn't find Jesus in the sermon?
No.
No kind of favor.
I couldn't find Jesus.
He didn't preach about forgiveness.
I couldn't find
love,
Jesus.
Peace.
I couldn't find that.
Joy.
I couldn't.
Happiness.
I couldn't. I found that he's the worker of the devil.
What are you talking about?
Tout le monde haïtien parle dans l'église li. Moi dis ça.
Baptist Church.
Yeah. It's just amazing.
Anyhow,
my spiritual advisor, you have a unique opportunity
as
not
always
to be like that pastor.
Yeah. You gotta
Can you rise above racism, classism, nationalityism, and give me the word of God?
You know what? Let me just send a message to all the quote unquote preachers in this country. Listen, please You all stop mixing the gospel and politics.
Yes.
All right? Keep those things separate. Man.
Yes.
All right? All right? Keep the politics and the gospel of Jesus Christ separate.
Right.
All right? Allow the politics to remain inside the House Assembly, and those who have been elected to deal with the politics, let them deal with that.
Right.
But if you're a man of God who has the mandate to hold up the bloodstained banner of Jesus Christ, man, preach Christ, man.
Speak. That's all I ask of him.
Preach Christ, because you have a duty to make sure that the lost are given an opportunity to obey the gospel, man.
Yes.
So I'm not saying that they can't get involved in politics, but keep the gospel of Jesus Christ in politics. Keep it separate.
Oh, my spiritual advisor. God bless you, eh?
Let's go to this passage today. Thank you so much, Senator. Good to be here on Freedom March. I figured today was going to be a rather provocative show today, for the most part. 2 Timothy chapter 3, 1 through 5. We are in perilous times, to say the least. We're in a country now where we may have reached the 10th murder in 11 days. This is unprecedented. It is crazy. All right, some stricter measures, some things has to be done, because it seems as if we're losing our people. 10 murders, 11 days. The Apostle Paul, 2,000 years ago, in his writing to the young evangelist Timothy, says this in 2 Timothy 3, 1 through 5. He says, but mark this, there will be terrible times in the last days. People will be lovers of themselves, lovers of money, boastful, proud, abusive, disobedient to their parents, ungrateful, unholy, without love. That's a serious thing. Without love, unforgiving, slanderous, without self-control, brutal, not lovers of the good, treacherous, rash, conceited. I mean, look at these adjectives. Lovers of pleasure rather than lovers of God. Having a form of godliness but denying His power. Have nothing to do with such people. We no doubt are living in those times. And what do? We have to now direct people to the love of God, that no doubt can change the hearts, hopefully, of mankind. That will result in the change of life and direction in the way they do things. This is crazy. We're in some terrible times. I think there has been marked a day of national prayer. I'm not certain, but I think I did see something just came out on that. Prayer has its place, mind you. I don't knock it. But remember this, though, that God doesn't hear every prayer that comes up to Him. John 9:31. God hears the man who does and who listens and does His will. For the Lord does not hear sinner's prayer, but any man who is a worship of God, and does His will, this is the man who God hears. John 9 and verse 31. National Day of Prayer, okay. That's, I guess, we welcome it. I'm sure the Church of Christ here in the Bahamas welcomes this National Day of Prayer, and we all will be praying. But along with that praying, we have to do some things. Because while we're praying, the gunman is oiling up his gun for the next victim. So we're going to have to do more than just praying. We're going to have to get onto the highways and the byways and get to go where the criminals are and seek them out and try to preach to them and get them to change if they would only accept the gospel. Anyhow, 2 Timothy 3, 1 through 5. The Apostle Paul told Timothy, but mark this, there will be terrible times in the last days, and no doubt those days are here. Read it when you get some time, where the Apostle Paul is describing what the last days would look like. And it's unfortunate we're experiencing some of those things here in the Bahamas. 2 Timothy 3, 1 through 5, the Word of God is forever and ever blessed. That is the NIV translation for those who may be wondering where I got that one from. That is from the New International version of the Scriptures. Thank you, Mr. Medusa. Back to you, Sandra.
I thank you, my spiritual advisor.
Absolutely.
Well, folks, let's look at an ad that we must play. BTC's fiber internet is now faster, stronger, and more reliable, yes, and available in more and more neighborhoods. Now in 80% of New Providence and Grand Bahama and counting. BTC Fiber Internet connects you constantly the everything you love at the best price in the Bahamas. Enjoy fiber internet, phone and TV for just $99.99 plus VAT. Sign up today at btcbahamas.com. BTC's new fiber internet plans come with the same upload and download speeds up to 1 gig. Get fiber internet, phone and TV at an unbeatable price of $99.99 plus VAT. Visit btcbahamas.com to sign up now. BTC, well, it's powerful, and so we want you to join this new era of internet with BTC and check out btcbahamas.com today, and that's great. Well, folks, we are being hit practically every day by the curse of murder, and it's tragic, but it calls for action. And we started the new day, one day after celebrating majority rule, one day after the church bell would have rang and members of the Christian community joined the governing Progressive Liberal Party in celebrating majority rule. And it was kind of early this morning that a vehicle which had in it at least 3 females and a child were driving through Lily of the Valley corner. I always loved that name, Lily of the Valley. It has some great childhood memories that comes back to me. But as the vehicle drove through, gunmen, Negro gunmen, young men, fathers of the nation, sons and brothers and uncles of our nation, they came out of the little bushes and the backyards, and I don't know why they opened fire on a vehicle in which a woman, 3 women, and a child is driving through the corner in it. And in the midst of the gunshot, those women recognized that they were under military attack. So they did that which instinctively came to them, which was pick up speed, let's get out of here, and head to the Quaco Street Police Station. And that is what they did. They were successful in getting there and alarming and alerting the police officers on duty of their peril, of their situation. And the police sprang into action by providing them with the necessary medical skills that they were qualified to carry out and to alert the ambulance authorities. Well, by the time all of that over and the ambulance arrived, we'll talk about it when we come back. This is Freedom March, 11 murders. It's time to declare war on the criminals. This is Freedom March. God save the King. I'll be right back after the break. We'll be right back, okay? Hold on, everybody. Don't lose heart. We will fight back. Welcome back to Freedom March. My name is Rodney Monker. Bradley Rule is my spiritual advisor, and there's breaking news coming from, I'm smiling, Jesus of mercy, from the inner community. There are 2 reports that I'm receiving in which I have been given 2 neighborhoods. I'm going to hide one of them for strategic reasons. But I've been told that there has been another shooting, this one in Plantal Street. I'm going to ask my boy by the pump to send me a text to confirm the shooting through Plantal Street. So this is a breaking news that we have received moments ago. In addition to that, we have also received another piece of information. I don't want to be bold and say that there is perhaps a piece of confusion. Nevertheless, it's rather disturbing. So this is what we are hearing, that perhaps we would have experienced the 12th shooting in the inner city. The inner city historically is where the masses live, the black people, the poor, the indigent. That's where we live. That is the area that we have not been able, one, to maintain law and order, and to have the police locked down in the community. Something is fundamentally wrong. If, for instance, there was a shooting, I'll give you an example. This morning, for instance, there was a shooting through Lily of the Valley Corner. Good strategic police work should mean that there can be no more shooting through Lily of the Valley Corner until January 11, 2025. So how do we prevent that? We set up a military camp each corner of Lily of the Valley and in the middle. So we put up big bright light and we set up a military camp. There can be none, because the police would figure out why a shooting take place. Now, under ordinary circumstances, let's use common sense. Notwithstanding that many of our sons have been acting recklessly, they really don't shoot old people. They really don't shoot women and children. So when you hear that a grandmother is shot, that a baby is shot, you have to now ask, who are they related to? Why were they targeted? And what is happening in this country is a pattern that many of you are familiar with. It's called tit for tat. So certainly, if we were to investigate today's shooting, we will discover that those victims are obviously related to men who are in conflict with other young men who are willing, if they can't get them, to go after their loved ones. So therein lies a problem, and I don't like it. You know, I really don't think that if your grandma didn't do me anything, I don't care how I'm mad with you, I can't do your grandma nothing. I can't touch your baby. That's me. I even can't touch your girlfriend. That's me. You know, your baby is innocent, so why am I going to shoot at your baby? Or shoot at your mother, your grandmother? But that's what we're doing. And so this is what is happening in our society, where in our drive to get revenge, we are prepared to kill grandmothers, wives, girlfriends, people's children. I really don't think you should bother with people's children. But that is what is going on in our society, where there's this tick for tat. Now we're getting a report that a young man has been shot. I'm not sure, and I hope that he has not perished, but these are the things that are happening. The Minister of National Security should have joined us today. But, you know, in the midst of all of this calamity and other state functions that he's required to attend, for instance, today there was the opening of the Supreme Court. So he would be required to attend that in his capacity as perhaps Minister of National Security. And then there are other agreements that must be signed. For instance, if you're going to purchase a new ship, you know, we still buy a new ship, even though Bernie Wright buck up the last one. So he would have to go to sign and maybe to make sure that the bottom of the boat is strong, just in case Bernie got to drive that one. So he is preoccupied with lots of work that requires the minister himself. So, you know, we're faced with a situation where we are being encouraged to preach peace and to preach, you know, no bloodshed. But it's happening every day. And watch what is happening. They're not giving us time to catch ourselves. By the time we hear that a woman has been, well, a 16-year-old girl has been killed, before you could get over that, you get another blow. And before you can catch yourself, you get another blow. And then the next thing you know, we hear about a young man who was killed last night, and then this morning, before you could cry for him, Grammy is killed, her grandson is wounded, he got to go in the theater, and the other two women who were in the car were just terrorized. And then we don't have any feelings. We come from all kind of reasons as to perhaps why they got shot, and nobody had a right to shoot them. But it's urban warfare taking place, but nobody wants to admit to it. It's urban warfare. If I pick up a gun and then I go into the streets and I start shooting it after people, it's urban warfare. That's what it is. Because I have no authority under the law to shoot at people. But if I get my gun or borrow a gun and I start shooting after cars driving with grandmother, grandson, and two other women, that's terrorism. But everybody's more educated than me, and they wouldn't call it terrorism. Now, we have to make up our mind whether or not we intend to win this urban warfare. We have to make up our mind what we can do. Are we going to stand our grounds as men? Or are we going to be a bunch of weak, sissy men? I don't want to be a weak, sissy man. I want to be a strong, peaceful, independent man, citizen. I want when the women them see me, they know that there's peace if they're with me. I want when the children them see me, they feel safe. But now the women them is safe, the children them is safe, and I safe. Isn't it amazing?
Mm-hmm.
It's terrible. The government is going to have to deal with this matter. Other than that, I may have to take over the country. And I'm really interested in running no country because I'm old now. You know, I'm old, I'm sick, and so forth. So I want a peaceful society, and I ain't got time to wait. Spiritual advisor, while I catch myself,
yeah. So,
comment.
Yeah, the reality is the criminals has brought the war to the streets, and you know the sad part about this is that we have a lot of innocent people that are on the streets during these shootings. All right, so you know what the government gonna have to do? The government have to take the war back to them. To me, that's the simplest way to deal with it. Because if you got these fellas, and I understand that when these guys approach people, they get high-powered weapons, Senator, and they spraying these bullets, and these bullets could go through cars and go into homes, go into stores that are next door to these cars that they're trying to target. And innocent people, no doubt, are injured or killed. So, I mean, they have brought this war to the streets. So what is the best way to handle it, in my opinion? The government has to now take the war to the criminals, because they ain't listening to no peace. And you know, I understand that, listen, because war's on the streets, you got to try to find a peaceful way to deal with what's going on the streets. Try to find a peaceful solution to all this. But the government has the authority in their hands to deal with the lawbreakers. Men who are on the streets with illegal guns, and they're putting fear in people, and not only that, innocent people's lives are at stake. What do? You lay back and just allow it to happen? That doesn't make any sense. So that means we're not safe anymore in this country. And listen, one of the primary objectives of the national security of a country is to make sure that the citizens are safe. That's your mandate. And if you can't make sure that we are safe, then arm us. Put the guns in our hands then, and then maybe we can take the streets. I mean, I hate the sound of this, you know, maybe that's not the right thing. You know, Father, forgive me. I may have gotten emotional and I may have sinned. But listen, the government can't back down from this. This doesn't make any sense. The government has the power to deal with the streets. All they have to do now is just beef up the saturation patrol. Listen, man, put these trucks, buses, whatever they are, in all these hotspots. Allow the police officers to just patrol these hotspots 24/7. Take over the streets, flood the streets with police officers, so the citizens could feel safe. You know, I drive Market Street a lot. I drive Wolf Road a lot. I drive East Street a lot. All in the city trying to get home. You mean to tell me now fellas could just pull up on a car and they start shooting, and I mean, innocently, anybody, life is in danger? Man, no, we're gonna have to do something. The government can't back down on this matter at all. It does seem as if somebody may have been shot someplace near the place on, where's that, Sandra? Plantall?
Plantall Street.
It seems as if it's Wilton Street to me, though.
My people are telling me Plantall Street.
Because it's the young man.
You know where Plantall Street is?
I'm confused about Plantall Street. East Street?
If you are
Market
on
Street?
East Street, right?
Headed where? North?
Heading north, Plantall Street is...
After where?
Is like about 2 corners before you reach the Church of God of Proper.
Oh, okay. So before you reach Brom Street and Peter Street then?
Where they have the tire shop, the big tire shop.
Okay, so,
I think that's Plantall Street.
So Plantall Street is on the west side, if you headed north.
I can give it to you in a code.
Okay.
À côté de place Ballet Zami, no, Ballet Frère.
Okay, yeah, I think I know.
McCartney.
But we're in a crisis, man.
Yeah.
We're in a crisis, and I'm afraid, you know, I really hate to say this, you know. I really hate to say this, but guess what?
What?
That National Day of Prayer ain't gonna make no difference.
It was a National Day of Prayer?
I think they set a date.
Okay.
All right? These criminals ain't listening to no prayer. They ain't listening to that. They still got their guns.
Then,
all right? The government got to go after them.
They're not
these fellas ain't listening to no prayer, all right? I can guarantee you they could have the National Day of Prayer, and you think them fellas putting down their gun?
They're praying for them.
The government got to force them to put them down.
They're praying to put down the gun?
I'm saying the National Day of Prayer, no doubt, is going to be aimed at praying, hoping that society would, you know, be safer and, you know, and I understand the faith walk, you know. But remember this, though. Faith without works is dead. Yeah, okay, I agree. Let's pray. Yeah, well, along with praying, the government got the power to flood the streets with their police officers and take those guns from off the streets. Remove them. They're illegal weapons. the commissioner of police did not sign any document for those guns to be on the streets.
No, are you sure of that? Because we've given out plenty guns.
Illegal guns are not authorized by the commissioner of police. Once the commissioner of police, the commissioner of police signed for my shotgun.
You have one?
I have a gun, yes.
Okay.
All right, the commissioner of police signed for that.
Okay.
I have a legal 12 gauge Mossberg.
Okay.
All right. So all the illegal guns that's on the streets, the commissioner of police have the right to go send for them and get them off the streets.
The AK-47s, he didn't sign for them?
No.
Now you
Especially
sure?
the ones that were used in the latest murder sprays and whatever have you.
Okay.
Come on, man. Come on now. This is a small country, man. This is a very small country. This could be done. This ain't hard to do. This is something that could be done. So, I mean, the government can't back down, my brother. They got to go up. See, and the thing about it, if the government seems as if they're not ready to deal with the streets, then the criminals will always run the way they run in. They ain't got no fear because they figure, man, listen, our gun's bigger than the police gun, and we could do what we want to do. But that's not the way the society is supposed to be set up. They got to deal with it, my brother. You know, in your Santa. I'm sorry for taking your time.
What is your suggestion, my spiritual advisor?
Santa.
You're saying that prayers, are you really suggesting to
You know, I don't want to sound
Jesus-
sacrilegious, right?
No, don't worry about sacrilege.
I don't mean to sound that
questioning
way.
you.
But
I want
praying in this situation, I don't know how much good it's going to do. I know it's hard
You
for the
mean
public to hear me say this.
If we call on Jesus, he will ignore us?
No. Santa, no. Prayer changes things.
Could
We got to remember that. Here's what the Bible says. Let me qualify this prayer for these religious people. The Bible says, the prayer of a righteous man availeth much. Remember now, just make sure that you are in a relationship with God, that you're a part of God's kingdom, that you're a part of God's church, that you have a relationship with God in order for that prayer to go through. If you're outside of God's family and you're not a member of his church, God is not going to hear your prayer. John 9:31, God does not hear a sinner's prayer. But if any man be a worshiper of him and do his will, hear me hear it. John 9, check it out, man. Mr. Producer, I can send you John 9:31 so that the public don't think I'm lying, and we can put up on the screen. God don't hear no sinner's prayer. God does hear the man who does worship him and do his will. That's the man who God hearing.
Is it possible, my spiritual advisor, that we're not seeing the works of the Lord because the wrong people are praying?
That's what's happening.
You think that is
That's what's happening. It's amazing. You know something? You just passed out, man. You've been to CC Sweden, right?
Yes, I did go to CC Sweden.
It's just logical. The wrong people praying. That's the problem. You got to have a connection. All right? Other than that, if you're not a Christian, there's ways for you to become a Christian, become a member of God's family, in God's kingdom, in God's church, God hearing you. The prayer of a righteous man availeth much. All right?
So it might be that this is the time for us to call them out and say, hush up, you ain't saying.
You know, but Senator, listen, let me just make sure that I don't send the wrong message to the
Go
public.
ahead, my spiritual advisor.
Yes. We're going to pray. The Churches of Christ here in the Bahamas has already announced that they're going to have a national day. As a matter of fact, they prayed all day yesterday. The Church of Christ in the Bahamas, they prayed all day yesterday, which was Wednesday. Yesterday was Wednesday?
Yes.
Right. Okay. So I don't have no issues with prayer. All I'm just saying is that along with this praying, there got to be some action. And the government has the power to control the streets, is what I'm saying. We can't allow the criminals to control the streets, because if that's the case, then I can be scared. As a matter of fact, I don't go any place. After the show, I go straight home, and that's me until the next morning. You know what I mean? On the weekends, I may do one or two little socializing. Of course, I meet with the Lord's Church on Sunday, but I hardly go anywhere at nights. When I leave the show, I go straight home. Because, where do you go in this crime-infested environment now, where it seems as if every Tom, Dick, and Harry got a gun? Illegal weapons. The government has to do something, man. This is a bad situation.
What is it that you would like to see this government do?
I'd like to see this government beef up its patrol on the street. And mind you, we do see a lot of police presence on the streets, especially during the day. And the police have the equipment. I do see a lot of the trucks on the streets. I do see a lot of motorcycles on the streets from time to time. But in the inner city, where these crimes are taking place, I believe the police could do more neighborhood patrolling, more saturation patrols and walkabouts. You know, make their presence felt. And I can tell you, police presence is always an intimidation to the criminal. Because remember now, the criminal has a conscience, you know, whether we want to believe it or not. As cold as they may seem to be in their killings, they have a conscience. And as long as the police is around, trust me, they stand dread. Because they realize the police license to kill. They may do one or two, the criminals may do one or two little random killings, but the police have the power to pull the trigger. If the police pull up on the scene with a man with an AK-47, the police automatically knows that his life is in danger. So he already in the killing mode. Because he realized there's just one squeeze to this trigger this man got, and everybody who in the car get wiped out. So, you know, it is what it is. The greatest defense of a police officer, listen man, my life is in danger. I fear for my life. So this man with this AK-47, I can take him out. I mean, I don't want to sound like that, but, you know, it is what it is. So all I'm saying is that the government has to take this war to the criminals, man. We can't be scared of the criminals. They bring the war to the streets, right? All right, so you take the war back to them. You back down them, what you think happened? Listen, these criminals ain't into no love center. We could see it. They killed a woman today, right? The grandmother. Yeah. These fellas ain't into no love. They don't know what that is. You gotta fight at times. That's how it is for some people. They hardened criminals, you know. These fellas ain't negotiating. They ain't trying to sit down and say, well, man, listen, you know, I really saw. No, they ain't into that. As long as they got their gun, they moving forward. So the government got to take the war to them. They bring the war to the streets, all right. Take the war to them. Wipe them out. But I'm sorry, I really sorry to sound like that, you know, but it's just, you're fed up.
Have we had enough meetings with them? Don't forget, there are many people who say we must meet with the criminals, find out from them why they're killing.
Well, the Commissioner of Police says that there were one or two groups that they met with, and when the Commissioner of Police described the meeting, it tells you something. The Commissioner of Police says the average person in this group, they were young men, and when questions were put to them, they hang their head down. They answer no question. Why do you think they're doing that? You think these fellas really into trying to be, you think they won't be rehabilitated? For the most part, that's their life. That's their MO. They on the streets. They got their gun and they race. That's them. There's some people who ain't fit to be a part of society. You got to take them out. Because if you don't, you just gonna spoil the whole country. Then our tourism product is gonna be, I'm surprised, and I'm not a prophet, but I hate to predict that the United States is probably going to issue a travel advisory soon. 11 deaths in 10 days?
Yeah, but in fairness, they're not killing tourists.
But it's still a menace. It's still a problem. We are a tourist destination center. They don't have to kill tourists. We're a tourist destination.
But they're not
Tourism is our product.
But they're not killing tourists.
But the United States will feel, listen, our people is not safe in this country because these people can't control crime.
Yeah, but wouldn't you agree?
The most of our tourists come from where?
But wouldn't you agree that we're not killing the tourists?
Yes, I agree, Senator, but that is not going to be the determining factor for the United States if they issue a travel advisory. Their point is going to be, listen, this country ain't safe. These people can't control crime.
We're only killing black people.
It don't matter.
Now the Americans may have the
but guess what? Do you recognize that the tourists now, this tourism product we have now, that tourists are going into all of the areas now driving around. They're renting motorcycles, they're renting bikes, they're renting ATVs, and they're going all over the island. So for these tourists who ride these inner cities or walk, yeah, they're in danger. So we gotta do something, man. The government can't back down now, but brother, we elect them to protect the country and to run the country properly. They gotta do what they gotta do. They gotta, you know.
Now, who is your
Leroy Major is my member of parliament.
Have you spoken to him?
I need to speak with Leroy Major.
Have you talked to Leroy?
I will speak with him, sir.
This is powerful. This is Freedom March. My name is Rodney Monker. Ah boy, another shooting. I don't know what the result is. We'll be right back. God save the King today. Hold on, everybody. Welcome back to Freedom March. My name is Rodney Monker, and we now have some new information on the Negro male who was shot through Pantol Street. We are being advised that someone opened fire on him, and as he was being struck by the bullets, he took cover by running behind a vehicle for further and better protection. And then he was rescued by some people who then immediately transferred him to the Princess Margaret Hospital. So it's an incident involving a coconut boy, which then suggests to us some teenage Negro lad. So that is the latest that we have gotten. We are told that they cannot say that he is dead. At the point that he was rescued, he was alive, taken to a private vehicle, and they sped off to the Princess Margaret Hospital for medical assistance. Meanwhile, we are receiving words that the Princess Margaret Hospital is in urgent need of blood. So I call on people everywhere to go to the hospital if you're qualified and to make blood donation, because you know, in this period where there is a lot of shooting, a lot of bleeding, a lot of bloodletting, the amount of blood that the hospital would have in storage, it begins to be depleted, and it becomes the duty of every citizen to make an effort to provide the kind of assistance. So my spiritual advisor, that is what we are being told. And then of course, they sent me a photograph of what appears to be the Negro teenager laying off, but I wouldn't show that. Not that the picture is gruesome, but you know, I'm not in that kind of mood to show that kind of photograph. So that is what is taking place. Wayne Monroe should have joined us today, but he will join us next week. So this is powerful. And as I told you, the opening of the Supreme Court took place. I'm hearing little sketchy reports as to what is being alleged at the Supreme Court level. You would recall that Commissioner of Police Clayton Fernanda indirectly suggested that perhaps it was our courts who could make the differences, but has failed to do so in the aftermath of the many Negro citizens who have been accused and recharged for a number of offenses. And notwithstanding that they are charged, they seem to be able to be very successful in getting bails. And when they would have obtained their bails, it's like if they have not learned a lesson to say, boy, I am so happy that I received my bail. I'm going to stay home. I'm going to be quiet. I'm going to keep myself out of trouble. But the next thing you know, the police runs into the suspect, the accused again, and asks him, how the hell you get out of jail? He got bail. So we are told that the Chief Justice may have responded. See, I'm not saying that he did, so I don't want the court to hold me in contempt. It is being suggested that the Chief Justice may have responded and may have suggested it ain't them. So, I love my country. It's beautiful. Wouldn't that be great that the Commissioner of Police blames the court. And wouldn't that be greater if the court say it wasn't us? And the criminals will then stand on the side of the road and just bust out laugh. I don't know. But it is a serious matter. But sometimes under these very stressful situations, the best thing to do is bust out laugh, you know, and then afterward get mad. So this is what is going on in our country. Come on, my spiritual advisor, you were waxing very well. Do you have birthdays?
Yeah, we got some birthdays. We got some birthday shout outs to do today.
Go ahead.
I don't know if, producer, are you ready, or you want us to, you ready? All right, so who's the first one up? We want to send some birthday shout outs to a few people today. Despite all that's going on, people are still having birthdays, yes, and we're hoping that they do enjoy them. No doubt. Happy 7th birthday to Samaya Raman. Greetings is coming from the entire family, especially our Aunt Diane, mom, and other relatives. So happy 7th birthday to Samaya Raman. Who do we have next, Mr. Producer? Okay, we have this young man here. So we want to send a happy birthday to Capri. Sorry, what are we doing here? Okay, good morning, Mr. Producer. No, that's... let's skip this one because we're not clear about this one. The information I have here doesn't seem to be clear, so I'm sorry. We have to skip that one. Okay, so we want to send a very special happy birthday out to my niece. This is Dr. Rodlin Malcolm. She's my older sister, daughter. She celebrates her birthday. Lots of love going out to her, appreciation as well, being sent to her on her birthday. May God continue to pour his blessings upon this doctor. Of course, I mean, she's been doing so much, especially with helping my mother get back to, you know, some sort of state of normalcy. We really appreciate Dr. Rodlin Malcolm. Dr. Rodlin Malcolm is my mother's granddaughter, and she's been using all of her resources and her knowledge to help my mother, you know, get back to, you know, trying to move around and walk again, along with some other family members. But she's been doing an exceptional job. We just want to extend this very special happy birthday shout out to her, and no doubt it's coming from her mother, Mertlin, her brother Anton, all of her family members, especially her grandparents, uncle, aunts, and her special friends Lorna and Iona. They are special friends. They're joining to wish Dr. Rodlin Malcolm a very, very happy birthday. We appreciate Rodlin. And I'm sending my special thanks to you for your tender love and care and concern for my mother, who's your grandmother. You're doing an exceptional job. And listen, what you're doing, God is going to bless you tremendously. Make no mistake about it. For you do have the heart and care for people. This is the reason why you've become a doctor, because you care for people. So happy birthday, Dr. Rodlin Malcolm. We love you. We hope you live to enjoy many, many more birthdays, and please do enjoy this one. You know, Rodlin, I can't remember how old you are. You know, it's been that long. I couldn't tell. Maybe, I don't know. I couldn't even remember how old you are. But anyhow, happy birthday to Rodlin Malcolm. All right, who do we have next, Mr. Producer? I'm going to follow you. We want to send a happy belated birthday to niece Arnett Maynard. It's coming from Auntie Brenda and Monet, tall boy, your mom and dad and sisters and brothers and sons and host relatives and friends. We thank God for keeping you to see another milestone. We love you. It's coming from your family. Happy birthday, Keret. Sounds like Maynard. All right, what else do we have? Is that it? Yeah, because yeah, this one, yeah, go back to that. I'm confused about this. Is this a male or female? This a female? Okay, good morning, Mr. Producer. Today is this young lady's 63rd birthday. Our Capri family, matriarch Angie, better known as Goldie. Greetings is coming from the entire family. Thanks a lot. Okay. So, happy birthday to this young lady. She's 63 years old. This is old. Okay, it's a previous photo. Okay, it's coming from our Capri family, the matriarch Ingy, better known as Goldie. Greetings from the entire family. All right. So, sorry? Okay. All right. So the Hillside Missionary Baptist Church Evangelism Committee will be having a clothing giveaway on Saturday, January 13th at the church on Independence Drive. Children and adults clothing. All right. So that's an invitation to get some clothes on Saturday, January 13th from the Evangelism Committee of the Hillside Missionary Baptist Church. All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Medusa. What else do we have? That's it? All right, Senator, that is it. So,
welcome back to Freedom March, everybody. And of course, we have been preoccupied, perhaps practically this whole week, for the very interesting killings that we have been experiencing in the country. And it happens almost as, it's like when the police would have completed an investigation, arrested the suspect, prepare his case for, arraignment. The next thing you know, the police ends up receiving another call that there is another murder. And so those things remain tragic. And for many citizens, it is very stressful, very stressful. And it's not good for the society when we all begin to feel, stressful over these incidents. And this morning was no different, where a grandmother, a grandson, and two other female driving through Lily of the Valley corner, a number of Negro gunmen. They came from in the back of the bush, the back of the yard, and they opened fire on the car. And the car was able to leave the scene, head to the Quaco Street Police Station for assistance. And there they were taken to the hospital. The grandmother died, and the grandchild had to be rushed into surgery. And of course, as the investigation, is carried out, we are now beginning to get a clear picture of what is taking place. One may argue that this is a case of tit for tat. And so it is very sad in this urban warfare where young people are now identifying relatives of the people that they would want to seek revenge with. So it's a very sad day when you start going after people's mother, their grandmother, their nephew, their grandnephew, their children. So you see how dirty it becomes, because if you find that in your society there is this kind of conflict, and the next thing you know, people are looking for your parents, they're looking for your children, they're looking for your nieces, your nephews. It really embroils the whole society. And before you know it, it really gets out of hand. It really becomes ugly and dangerous. So it is our hope and prayer that we can say to our people, hey, come now, I think we're carrying it too far. And that is why parents has to be very careful and watch out for the kind of maneuverings that their offsprings are involved in, and try not to be pulled into it, because it's deadly. And these killings are real killings. Nobody who's been killed to date has come back. So it's a very serious matter. And for Lily of the Valley corner, it was tragic this morning. And thank God the Quaco Street Police Station wasn't too far away. So that's what's going on in our country. And then of course we got this report of a coconut boy being shot this evening at Plant Hall Street and Plantal Street has had quite a number of interesting incidents in that community, and there's been some very interesting murderers who came from that community as well. So it means that saturation patrol has to be picked up and gone. The days when we say in the night, no, these killings are as broad daylight as is possible. So it means that it has to be done in the day, and the Commissioner of Police has better unfold his urban renewal initiative. And that has been historically a program where the police ascends into the community on a 24-hour basis, in which they, contribute to attempting to re-educate young people, get them in progressive programs, get to know them closer, while gathering good intelligence on what is taking place. So these are some of the things that is happening in the country, my spiritual advisor.
Absolutely. It does seem as if we have a press release statement coming from the Office of the Prime Minister on this latest shooting that occurred on Lily Valley Corner. The Prime Minister has released a statement. This is the kind of statement you want to hear. It brings a little comfort to the residents, no doubt, but we're going to have to see some action. So the Office of the Prime Minister of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, Prime Minister Philip Brave Davis extends his deepest condolences to the family of the individual tragically lost in the recent shooting incident that took place on Lily of the Valley Corner. In this moment of profound sorrow, our hearts also go out to the minor who is currently battling for his life in critical condition. Our prayers and thoughts are with them and everyone affected by this senseless act of violence. The Prime Minister commends the Royal Bahamas Police Force for their swift and effective response in apprehending a suspect. This quick action reflects our law enforcement agencies' dedication and commitment to ensuring every single Bahamian's safety and security. This is what we want. In light of this tragedy, the government reaffirms its commitment to a cross-government and a whole-of-society approach to combating crime. We are dedicated to hunting down any criminal element that seeks to disrupt the peace and harmony of the Bahamas. This is what I'm talking about earlier. All right, the Prime Minister emphasizes that there will be 0 safe havens in our country for those who choose a path of crime and violence. Every necessary resource will be mobilized and every legal measure will be enforced to protect our citizens and uphold the rule of law. This is perfect. All right, this is the kind of statement we want from our Prime Minister. But we're going to have to see some action now. This is perfect. This is what we need to hear.
Tell us, what is it that the Prime Minister said?
Well, here's what he's doing. He's reaffirming to the general public that the quick action reflects our law enforcement agencies' dedication and commitment to ensuring that every single Bahamian's safety and security is secured in this country.
Yes.
I told you that's what the government job is.
You called for it, my spiritual advisor.
Right? To make sure its citizens are safe.
Yes.
And they have to do it because they have the power too.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying? And he also says that he emphasizes that there will be 0 safe havens in our country. So, to me, that means the police, they go in and they come in to hunt you down. If you're known to be a criminal, if you're involved in criminal activity, and you're on the wrong side of the law, they're coming for you. And that's what their job is, to go and seek them out. So no matter where they are, the police have the power to go and get you. All right? So he says there will be no safe havens for those who choose a path of crime and violence. Every necessary resource will be mobilized, and we hope so. Every necessary resource will be mobilized, and every legal measure will be enforced to protect our citizens and uphold the rule of law. I mean, if I can't be safe in Bahamas, I might as well go to Canada.
You're going to Canada?
I will go to Canada if I don't feel safe in the Bahamas, Sandra.
Stay home with me.
I will go to Canada. I'd rather face that cold up there in the north.
Stay here.
than to be in a country that I can't feel safe in.
Canada is a bad place.
I mean, other than that, I just have to go to Exuma.
Well,
You know,
that's a better
where,
place.
where the family does have a safe haven. Maybe go to Exuma and stay there for a while.
Yeah.
But we are appreciative of this statement coming from the Office of the Prime Minister. And this is a statement that every Bahamian, no doubt, needs to hear. And we just hope that, you know, the government follows through on this statement and make sure that their citizens are safe. Because we have some citizens who have been what is called collateral damage
Yes.
in a lot of these shootings, which is so unfair. You know, why would somebody innocent have to suffer because of somebody madness? You know, it doesn't make any sense at all. But that's the latest statement coming out from the Office of the Prime Minister on the latest shooting. Of course, like you did mention, we did get some information on 1 or 2 additional shootings that may have occurred, but we don't have all the details right now. They remain rather sketchy, although there are some police sources who are confirming that these shootings may have occurred. Anyhow, Senator, back to you.
Well, the Prime Minister has announced bold initiatives. So the question now is, what is the Minister of National Security and the Commissioner of Police will do? We have 2, perhaps 3 very important intelligence gathering units. There is the Security and Intelligence Branch, there's the Criminal Intelligence Branch, and then there's the National Security Intelligence Branch. So that becomes very, very important in terms of their ability to gather the necessary intelligence and to pass it on. So there needs to be basically a crackdown, okay? And I think every citizen will support that so that we can reduce the level of gun violence in our society and the retributions which are taking place, leading to grandmothers being murdered, grandchildren being seriously injured, children being injured. So some positive action has to take place. And while the government has quietly been constructing a brand new prison, most citizens might not be aware that the Progressive Liberal Party has begun a major plan on the construction of a prison in which the government is, if they have not started yet, they shall be producing like 10,000 blocks per day. So you know that's going to be a big prison. And the 10,000 blocks will be used specifically for the new prison. So we're going to have a big prison with some of the most modern amenities. And who knows, perhaps it will even create some extra jobs, not only for those who will be going to prison, but those who are currently serving time, and perhaps those who might be in search of employment. So these are some of the things that is happening. And who knows, we might be able to convince the government to do some privatization. It's a new thing in the new world where you can privatize the prison. In the United States, it appears that they have one of the best methods where powerful forces get together and they find a way to just put people in jail, all right, and just run the prison. So who knows if this continue, we may have to contemplate how do you find a way to get people in prison and create employment by keeping them in prison. I'm only thinking out aloud. It is my hope that everything will be done in accordance with the law, but I do know in the United States there's been a scandal. This is Freedom March. My name is Rodney Monker. God save the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. Let there be peace. We'll be right back after the break. Hold on, everybody. This is powerful. Welcome back to Freedom March. My name is Rodney Monker, and I'm going to do 2 quick birthdays to Beverly Jones. Beverly Jones is one of the women them. She celebrated a birthday today. Beverly, happy birthday to you. God bless you. Be safe. And then, of course, yesterday was the birthday of, guess who? Wendy, who's this? Did you say Wendy?
Man, if you can't understand that right now, how are you going to understand it?
Who did she say that?
What is this, man? This look like Egyptian hieroglyphics, man. Jesus, you're supposed to be in the doctor. Only doctors who's writing prescription.
Come on, my spiritual
It's very
advisor.
bad like that, man. I don't understand.
Anyway,
That's French, that's Creole.
that's Anglais.
That can't be English, not
So,
that.
to Beverly Jones, happy birthday to you. And then, of course, we want to do a shout out to Sister Simonet. Sister Simonet, her birthday was on Majority Rule Day. So, Sister Simonet, happy birthday to you, okay? And this is powerful. Come, let's open the line because I don't feel well today.
Yeah. I
Go
think
ahead.
we need to get you to the hospital quick to get you checked out.
Yeah.
Okay? We're going to open the line. 323-7775 is the number to call. 698-0775 and 698-0776. It does seem as if there is going to be a National Day of Prayer. The Bahamas Christian Council has announced that there's going to be a National Day of Prayer held in Rawson Square on Monday, January the 15th at 7 p.m. All right, so I guess they're inviting the whole country to come out.
Shouldn't they hold the National Day of Prayer through a corner where the murders are taking place?
I'm thinking they should do that. They should hold it in a strategic,
If you're killing
in a city
in
area.
Lily of the Valley corner, then it means that Satan lives through there.
Yeah, all they have to do
Right.
is just ask for the commissioner of police. Who would have the power to close a street?
The police.
Right. So all they have to do is ask the commissioner, listen, we want to hold a National Day of Prayer
Through Lily of the Valley
Right.
corner.
from between East Street, Little Valley, and Market Street.
Yeah.
And we want all
Yeah.
those who are interested in coming to let's flood the streets.
Right.
As we bringing this prayer to the criminals now.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
I would think
That's-
so.
that's a very
And then, of
interesting-
course, we
Yeah.
hold one in Mountain Heights,
Yes.
right? Isn't that where the
They
murder
should,
took
they,
place?
they should have a whole week of praying
Yeah.
and just go from spot to spot.
Then
to spot.
after that, we go into Nassau Village.
You have a call? Hold that thought, Santa. Welcome to Freedom March Call. You're live.
Hi, good afternoon. How are you?
Good afternoon. How are you?
I am doing good. Hi,
Great.
Mr. I'm the woman that I went to guys for hospital. It was brought to my that emotional list was really but it affects for what I can say is if the Commodore is listening, I don't appreciate how our officers were treated. If they are going to go to Haiti when our country is right now friend, a lot of officers were missed after all their hard work, dedication, years of service. You mean to tell me only 10 pages went out for promotion within all of the officers in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas? I think that Commodore, the honor right minister, needs to look into that because it's not fair. A lot of persons have been missed, and we have a lot of officers that feel some type of way right now because after 10 years, 20 years, they were not promoted.
Hold it. Okay. So you want to get this message out to the Minister of National Security?
Yes, I would like to do that.
He's listening to you right now, okay?
Yeah, so can you please look into that, please? We have a lot of officers who are on the job for 5, 10 years that receive nothing, and I don't think that is fair. I am not on the defense force, but I would like to speak for those around me.
Okay. Thank you so much, caller. We appreciate your call, okay?
Thank you.
You take
Bye-bye.
care. Bye-bye. 323-7775 is the number to call. 698-0775. Welcome to Freedom March. Call you live.
Spiritual advisor.
Good afternoon. How are you?
Good. Brother Micah.
So,
Get brother here, listen to me. That lady right there triggered something in me. She talking about people being on the job 10 years and 20 years without no promotion. You have people being on the job 5 years and did more work than the people who been on the job 10 and 15 years. Okay, so not because you've been there for a long time means you should get promoted if you're not doing nothing. When you get promoted, that's why we in this situation now with school. Just because you're 6, you should be in grade 2. Just because you're 7, you should be in grade 3. You promotion don't come like that. But listen to me. Let me say something. The God said He is a jealous God, and He shares His glory with no man. And until we can get this country back in line with God, we can be in problems. I hear you all saying take the prayer thing to Lily of the Valley Corner. Yeah, that's a good thing. But why not let's care to Windsor Park? Maybe we can fit the people more comfortable. Let's take it to Windsor Park. The people from Lily of the Valley Corner can walk to Windsor Park.
Right, so take it to the parks and all the
let's take it to the park. And then you say something, spiritual advisor, go on Windsor Park today. Go on the park in Nassau Village tomorrow.
Yeah.
Go on the park in Montella day after tomorrow. All these areas are park.
Yeah.
You know, take it to the park and we could hold more people in the park and set more people in the park and, you know, come with more people.
Or they do have more than one preacher in the Christian Council, so each preacher could take a park and they could all have it the same day. What you say?
Yeah, dude. Yeah, that makes sense.
You see?
But
so,
not in the thing. We trying to keep this Nassau centric.
Yeah, go down Rawson Square.
The islands too, man, before it gets to the Family Island.
Unless they thinking God only get here to pray in Rawson Square. Yeah.
No, but we can prevent it. We can prevent it from going to the Family Island.
Yeah.
And let's pray in the Family Islands, man. You know,
Absolutely.
Let's go to Grand Bahama, let's go to Abaco, let's go all over. But trust me, God is sending a message to us, you know. God is sending a message to us, man.
We've lost our ways to tell the truth.
Like you said, spiritual advisor, some people might take it funny. Praying right now for these brothers is a good thing, but I ain't listening to them.
No.
You need to get them same big truck with the police I'm getting now. Put 4 or 5 defense forces and police officers on the back of them trucks. And just ride this out and take this land back over.
Absolutely.
You know, like you had the curfew for the
COVID.
COVID. Put curfew in this country.
Somebody in the city should have curfew.
Put curfew.
Yep. I agree with you, Carla.
This country now. What a 16-year-old doing 7 o'clock in the night?
Yeah.
Huh? I put curfew on this land.
What a 16-year-old doing on bail for murder?
And not 1, 4.
Phew. It's chilling. Thanks so much, caller. We appreciate it, man. Yeah, take care. 323-7775 is the number to call. Welcome to Freedom March, caller. You're live.
Hello?
Good afternoon, caller. You're live.
Yeah, good afternoon. I'm trying to find them. They said they would go to Rawson Square or Clifford Park to pray, right? Why don't they, so many churches in the Bahamas, why they don't split up among all these neighborhoods, walk these neighborhoods, pray, cleanse these streets, and anoint these neighborhoods, rather than going to one spot? Is there enough churches to do that?
Yeah, this is true.
In the city? You know, rather than just speculating in one spot.
Yeah, Rawson Square.
The area.
Rawson Square seems to be the trick. I don't understand what's going on. But anyhow, it is what it is.
That's
Yeah.
the thought.
Thank you so much, caller.
Yeah.
323-7775.
Hello?
Welcome to Freedom March, caller. You're live.
Hello?
You're live, caller.
Hello? Spiritual advisor?
Ma'am, do us a favor, please. Could you turn your radio down and just pay attention to your
I
phone?
don't even have my TV down.
I hear something in the background.
You hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you.
Spiritual advisor.
Yes, ma'am.
The killing, too much murder. And somewhere in the Bible they say the young will be vipers of themselves. Somewhere in the Bible it says that, right?
I read that passage today.
Yeah. Okay. So the Bible has to be fulfilled. And then again, back in the days when we were growing up, our parents take hold of us. But these days, the generation who wanted these children, they don't care.
Yeah, because children are raising children. That's the problem.
They don't care. So
Yes, we agree.
Don't care what the government do. It ain't the government. It's your parents, but the children there.
Yeah, it starts in the home. Yeah, we recognize that.
You understand me?
It's a powerful point.
I serious. I don't understand why everybody wants to say the government. The government ain't born your child.
This is true.
The government ain't born your child. So why should they? I don't understand it.
Yeah, but when your child spills out in the streets with an AK-47, then that's where the government comes in.
Okay, and when they shoot at the government, they will be shot at, okay, and get killed.
Any
You
other thing?
understand me? So I don't know. It's just you have to yield and go and pray and give God thanks and forget about what anybody did to you, and just yield to the Bible and forgive one another.
Absolutely, forgiveness is key.
Forgiveness, man. My God. I mean, people do things to me and I forgive them. Because guess what? Only God saves me. I've been through things. And God is only God. My God and Savior.
Thank you so much. Thank you, caller. God bless you. Thank you so much. We appreciate your call. 323-7775. Welcome to Freedom March. Call you live.
Yes, good afternoon, spiritual advisor.
Good afternoon.
Yes, I listened to you all this afternoon.
Yes, sir.
One of the things I believe that you all need to address it to the minister and the commissioner of police. You have a lot of defense force officers who quit the force at the age of in their early 30s, and they still active. The same as the police officer, immigration and custom. Why don't they round them up and have them on the reservist list?
Oh, call them back up,
When these things occur, they can use these people, because I'm sure you can get over 2,000-3,000 men. And right now, they do need those amount of people to help with the situation, because the force, every time they get 100 police pass out, you have more than that leave the force. You see how many officers they sent home the other day, and none of them they sent home. They ain't 78.
Okay.
Huh?
Thank you so much, caller. We got you. We appreciate your comment. Take care. Bye-bye. 6980775. Welcome to Freedom March. Call you live.
Yes, I just like to know. What good is the person to believe in the hospital? And like you said, have them in the hospital. You catch them, then they put them out in the street. So there, that's what good is the help is if they catch them right.
Yeah, that's why the commissioner believes. I don't know if you saw a statement maybe on Tuesday. He is now calling for the Bail Act to be revisited. So you raised a valid point, and the commissioner of police did make that point as well, that these criminals, you take them off the streets, you charge them, and then they're right back on the streets again. These guys are doing the same things, repeatedly. So yeah, you're absolutely correct.
Like just I said, bed. That's only the thing that's them dead.
You garbled. We don't know what's going on with your call, but it's in and out, and we can hardly hear. Anyhow, we got your point though. We appreciate you. Okay, we appreciate your comment. Sorry about that, caller. Forgive us. Welcome to Freedom March. Call you live. Hello, caller. You there?
Me?
Yes, I can hear you now. Go ahead, caller.
Okay, my first time caller, one of the women there.
Welcome to the show.
Okay, spiritual advisor, this is my point on it.
Okay.
If these gentlemen, these guys, these young men, these thugs, if they want to be so bad, the Bahamas government need to just get set in jail and the said gangs, give them guns and put them on a plane, send them to Iraq, where they need to go fight themselves. And if they make it through, then they're free citizens when they come back to Bahamas. That's my 5 cents on it.
I'll send them to Haiti, eh? Thank you so much, caller.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Police back home, them since they won't be in Gaza, put them in the war patrol.
Okay. Thank you so much. 323-7775. Welcome to Freedom March. Call you live.
Rest in the Lord and do good. therein shall thou be fed. 2 Chronicles 7:14 says, my people, which are called by my name, and when Zion travail, sons and daughters will be born into the kingdom. I'd like to say a pleasant, blessed good evening to Mr. Monka.
Ezekiel.
Everything will go well for you by the grace of God.
Thank you.
And I'd like to send out a shout to all the senior citizens around the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, especially those around the Family Island, to the sick and to the short end, to those incarcerated, and to every family in the hour of bereavement, that it has no sorrow that heaven cannot cure. And let us continue to pray for the male seeds of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. And I'd like to send out my shout to Marie McDonald's and Pastor Christian Benavide on the passing of their mother, and family and friends, and to everybody that knows Ezekiel, better known as Gratitude.
Ezekiel.
And y'all have a blessed afternoon and enjoy the rest of the evening.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Stay on the top of the mountain. God bless you all.
Ezekiel,
right, take your call.
better known as Job.
right.
Thank you.
323-7775 is the number to call. 69.
Very good advice. No, I'm holding.
Okay, go ahead, caller. You're live.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Good evening. Good evening. How are you?
We're doing well. Thank you.
mentioned that the police is saturated in the inner city area.
Yes, ma'am.
They really, my opinion is they need to go into the county town because we do not know how many ammunition and the guns are in those communities.
Okay.
That's where they need to start.
Okay.
Because most of what is happening is through the Haitians who are illegal in this country.
Okay. Okay,
Okay,
caller.
so Mr. Monroe, Wayne Monroe needs to know that. And kindly let me know when he's coming on.
Yes, ma'am. We'll keep you abreast, okay?
Thank you so much.
You're more than welcome. Take care. 323-7775. Welcome to Freedom March. Caller, you're live. Caller, you there?
Hi, good day.
Yes, sir. You're live.
Hi, first and foremost, I just want to send best wishes to Mr. Monka. You're under the weather, so I hope you'll be in the field better soon.
Thank you.
Secondly, I'm hearing a lot of complex solutions to this problem, but a lot of times when I listen into the show, I hear Mr. Monka bring up the death penalty. And I would ask you, spiritual advisor, with all these complicated solutions, do you ever consider that as possibly a solution to all these problems?
Absolutely. Romans chapter 13 endorses capital punishment. It is on the books. The Bible encourages those who have the authority. If you bear the sword, you're not supposed to bear it in vain. So, yep, I do think that if you kill and you're found guilty, hanging is on the books. It should be executed. Absolutely.
All right, great. Thank you.
Thank you so much, caller. Welcome to Freedom March, caller. You're live. Welcome to Freedom March, caller. You're live.
Yes, good day, spiritual advisor. Good day, Mr. Monka.
Sir.
Yes.
How you all doing today?
We're
Doing
fine.
great. Thank you so much.
All right, I think the Commissioner of Police, Mr. Clayton Fernando, he should be commended by his remarks, what he made about the courts. The courts is not going fully on what they're supposed to be doing with these criminals. And secondly, Mr. Monroe, the Minister of National Security, he's a brilliant lawyer and attorney. And I know we know how to lobby or legislate with the government party to bring capital punishment or stiffer sentences for these criminals. That's it.
Thank you so much, caller.
Thank you.
Appreciate your comment. 323-7775. Welcome to Freedom March, caller. You're live.
Yeah, I'm calling to speak to Monka.
Sir, I'm here.
How you doing, bro?
Listen, I'm fine. How are you?
I hear people calling and complaining all the killing was going on in Napa, so far on the Haitian bar. But I'm calling as a D40
Yes.
who's living in the U.S.
Yes.
and I'm back home.
Yes.
The thing we'll be looking at is wrong, because if bringing the guns from the U.S. coming here, and the new generation, we're bringing them AK-47, them AR-15, and they smuggling pills. When they smuggling pills, so they ain't smoking the Jamaican weed no more.
Okay.
They are smoking the American lab weed.
Really?
That's what they are doing. And all that would cause them, they trigger to go trigger happy on the road.
Est-ce que vous parlez créole haïtien?
Yeah, I speak a little bit of Creole.
Là où gagne temps, relez-moi, pas parler avec moi konya parce que tout le monde yo tande là où parler en
Seriously, if he
anglais.
has information from the police,
Là où gagne temps, relez-moi. Normalement c'est 801
oh boy,
5760. Dis merci Jerry, relez-moi. Merci. Go ahead, my spiritual advisor. Go ahead, my spiritual advisor.
Welcome to Freedom March Call. You're live.
Yes, good afternoon, spiritual advisor, and good afternoon, Mr. Manka.
Good afternoon, my dear.
Afternoon.
I must commend spiritual advice and all that he said so far on this program.
Thank
Amen.
And I also want to say, whatever Mr. Manka said so far about hanging, I think that's the only solution to some of this crime in the Bahamas.
Thank you.
It doesn't matter how many police people are there. The criminal have a criminal mind, and the only way to stop some of this criminality is to hang somebody. That's my 5 cents.
Thank you so much,
We
caller.
thank you, my dear.
Thank you so much. Welcome to Freedom March Caller. You're live.
Hello.
Good afternoon. You're live, caller.
Oh, good afternoon, gentlemen.
Yes, ma'am. Good afternoon.
You know, I think the legal fraternity has to do more in reference to the bail act. I heard some of what the Chief Justice said today, the thing of all of these reasoning why this bail situation is. However, how could you have persons released on bail after being accused of 4 and 5 murders?
Yeah,
That's true.
Serious thing.
And right now we're in a state of emergency.
Yes,
Yeah.
we are.
They need to be, because when you look at the suspects, a lot of these persons are, in fact, these persons, so they have to do something. I want the legal fraternity, including the Minister of National Security, because all of these attorneys,
Yes.
they seem to be working together. Look at that deal and find a way that they can deal with that to get these gangsters off these streets.
Yes.
Agreed.
Thank you.
You're
You're
welcome.
welcome, my dear.
All right, we got 2 more calls we can take. Welcome to Freedom March Caller. You're live. Caller, you there? 323-7775. It's the number to call, 698-0775.
Hello, cell phone.
Hello?
Yeah. Go ahead, caller. You're live.
Hello, cell phone. Cell phone, call, answer. Cell phone.
Okay, so let's take this next call. Welcome to Freedom March Caller. You're live.
Hello?
Good afternoon. You're live, caller.
Thank you.
Turn your radio down first, please. Can you please? Okay, let's get this next call. Well,
Hey,
yes.
spiritual advisor.
Yes, sir. How are you?
All right, Mr. Monk, do. Mr. Monk, you supposed to win the match? The hang? Murderers?
If
Convicted murderers?
I'm still doing the match,
Yeah, last week someone sounded in the call and you said you're supposed to do the match. That's one, and how that's coming on so far.
well, people are asking me to do the match. I'd hoped that the minister would have come on today, but he hasn't come on. But the spirit of the march is in my blood.
Rodney, you don't need the approval from the minister. I'm asking you. Are you saying you need approval?
I want you to know that I am 67 and I was marching before you born.
I know.
Okay.
Yeah, so you ain't get a strand to do it now, eh?
Well, you know, I do have.
Well, that's what we did. You fought from back in the past.
Well, I want you to.
Many of us didn't come out to support.
Yeah, I want you to continue to love me, and when I call for you to come to the street, come, because I got corn on my toe.
Yeah, I think the people feeling they ready to march.
You think
They
so?
ready to march. We put you in a wheelchair or put you on crutches.
Wow, you are brilliant.
Yes.
Finally, a Negro who could solve my problem.
Or even roll you in a bed.
No,
or
no, no.
stretch you over there.
No, a wheelchair.
Golf cart. Golf cart. Keep going to golf cart.
I want a wheelchair. Get it, my brother, and I shall march. Right.
Welcome. This is the last call, right? No more calls. Okay, go ahead, Senator. We only have a minute to
Well,
wrap it
folks,
up.
we thank you. At the moment, I'm not feeling too well. I need some sasaye bagay pour meeting at the show. I need some, what a thing name, man?
Sarsi?
Not sarsi, man, but the Haitian loves. You boil it, it's peppery. I need some of that because I don't feel well.
Yeah.
Okay?
You got to get you tested.
But I want everybody to be safe. The struggle for control of the streets continue. We shall never surrender the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. And it is important that young people, while you have an opportunity, please return to the rule of law. Because one day, bad boy, what are you going to do when the policemen come for you? Do well, everybody. God save the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. God save law and order. God save the Royal Bahamas Police Force. God save the King. Your Majesty, it's time to hang. I'll be right back tomorrow. It's powerful. Take good care.
The thoughts, views, and comments expressed by Rodney Munker, his guests, and callers on Freedom March are not necessarily those of the management, ownership, or production unit of the Verizon Media Group. Freedom March is a production of ILTV and cannot be reproduced or represented in part or entirety without express written consent of the Verizon Media Group. Freedom March is the intellectual property of the Verizon Media Group. Copyright 2020. All rights are reserved. Freedom March is powered by BTC.